Welcome, everybody. It's been a while here. It's the Brown Man and the Jew back to talk some shit and some stocks here with you guys. Kenny, what's going on, man? It's been a while. I think it's been like a couple months, man. I think it's been a couple months. Is this the first one we're doing for the new year? I don't think it is, but
I think we did one.
Okay.
I think we did one, but lots of things have changed since the last time we spoke.
Indeed. All right, guys. So everybody who's joining in, go ahead and comment on Twitter, or you can comment on the YouTube page. Those would probably be the best places to get our attention if you got any questions or stocks that you want us to go ahead and talk about. Before we get started here, man, let's just get the politics out of the way, man, because I don't want to waste time talking about these horrible. This horrible GOP shit that is going on, and I have to look at the comments, the next day, and I gotta sit there and read it, and I'm like, why? What the fuck are we doing in life, man? What is happening that I have to sit here and read this shit? So let's get it out of the way, man. Let's talk a little politics here. What do you think about, what's going on in the GOP right now? Because that's all anybody's ever talking about. Nobody talks about the Democrats because they're fucking boring. It's boring as shit. There's nothing going on over there. And meanwhile, in GOP world, it's just mayhem every single day.
Well, I got to tell you, since Trump gained popularity, back, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we were doing a bit on my website, Kroll for President. I was using my other name. And I was saying some outlandish things and, building a wall, some isolationism, outlawing Muslims, the whole thing. So when he started talking and saying all that crazy stuff on TV, I was like, wow, I've never heard anybody say that in real life. So I became a Trump fan. Other than the fact that he's a raving lunatic and he's not very presidential.
Right.
I'm a fan still. And I think it's hilarious that the Republican Party is being ripped apart, where you got to get Romney to come out, who is my favorite politician. Because if I looked like Mitt Romney, I would already be president. Because that dude is one handsome fella.
He's a handsome motherfucker, man. I'd give him a hand job.
And if I had that look, I would probably be a politician already, because I got some good things to say. But, his claim to fame was, I love coal. Remember that? That was his whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I love coal. I'm going to save the coal industry. I love coal. Meanwhile, he's probably along BTU and Cliff and taking an ass raping.
Well, hang on. BTU has now done some damage here in the past couple days. It's now a $5 stock, ladies and gentlemen.
Unbelievable. From $2.
It's just back at it. It's just from $90, man. But, so, dude, I have to ask you, and now that we're having this conversation right here, give me your case. State your case for me on why you think Trump would be a good president. I need to hear this from your mouth, because we're cool. We're cool here. I fucking hate this guy. I hate everything that comes out of his mouth. I can't stand what he stands for. I can't believe. But the one thing I'll give him is that he's bringing the non-PC shit back. You can come out and say whatever the fuck you want to, because Trump is doing it, and he's he's heading the way for everybody. So I love the fact that he's getting away with saying all this shit. But I just feel like he's horrible for saying a lot of the things and talking about some of the things that he is.
It's amazing that, considering what he's said about women over the last 20 years, that
unbelievable.
How does he have? He's right there. I would think he'd have no women voting for him, and that's you need some women voting for him. He's got no minorities voting for him. So basically, he's being backed by the KKK, which it's insane. But those are the people that he's appealing to, and for him not to come out, to say, "Well, I don't want your endorsement," he doesn't want to say that, and that's what everyone's upset about. But again, I'm a liberal, kind of a Democrat, but I love if I had a flag to wave behind me, it would be an unborn fetus with a shotgun, because I think abortions and shotguns for everybody. I love helping other people, but there's got to be limits on welfare. So I'm a liberal Democrat who loves guns and abortion. So I think I'm the mix of everything that could be a great politician.
Okay, so what is it about? So what is it about this guy that is it just his character and the fact that he's appealing to people who want to say these things that just can't say them, and now all of a sudden there's a platform to do it? Is that all it is?
That's all it is, and there's no just like the market, why it can never go down is there's really nowhere else to put your money. Who you voting for? You got your social. I love Bernie Sanders because he's saying some crazy shit, but you just can't.
Oh, you like the chaos. That's it. You're a traitor. We're both traitors. You like the motherfucking chaos. You just like the action. That's what it is.
But it's crazy. Who else are you going to vote for? Because, I mean, Ted Cruz is just too awful to just even look at. I mean, I don't care what he's saying. And you got all the other guys, you know, thumping their Bibles. Anytime anybody mentions abortion, abortion shouldn't even be a topic in today's, in our environment. We need to know about the economy and protecting the borders and some immigration. So as soon as somebody raises the Bible, starts talking abortion, they've lost my vote. But I know there's, you know, a whole bunch of the country that loves that kind of shit. But yeah, he's saying what people want to hear out loud.
Right.
You know, there's no way we're going to stop immigration. There's no way we're going to round up the Muslims. We're not going to build a wall.
Right.
But those are ideas that are pretty, you know, in the dark places of everybody's mind. They're like, yeah, fucking build a wall.
Okay, so this is just on winning campaigns. I mean, once he gets into office and he actually has to do shit, can we really vote for this man? Can you really vote for this man? Are you telling me you're going to fucking vote for this man? Is that what you're telling me?
I can't vote for Hillary Clinton anymore. I used to be a fan of hers, but she's just too boring and to me a little bit untrustworthy. But every politician's untrustworthy. If it came down to Trump and Bernie Sanders, I'm really going to have a hard time not voting for the half Jew from a pot-smoking Vermont.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They said on Market Watch that he was the most quintessential American Jew. That's what they called him.
I like the guy, and you know, this whole concept of him snapping his fingers and making government small and free healthcare, that's not going to happen either. So he's saying a bunch of shit that, you know, a lot of people want to hear too, but none of that would get done.
Right.
None of this stuff ever gets done anyway. That's why I think it would be fun to give Trump a shot for 4 years just to see the psychoticness, because I think one thing Trump would do right was, as soon as Iran was to do something like whatever they did today, he would be out there, look, we told you not to do anything with the nuclear weapons. You got a rocket that could go 200 miles. Guess what? We got a rocket. Oh, wait, I think it's headed your way right now. Iran, you're fired. And we blow the fuckers up.
Oh,
I think it's crazy enough to start dropping some real bombs on these people to wake them up, to let them know we actually have rockets that work, that could reach your ass. Oh, wait, hang on. Look out your window, Mecca, because we're going to blow that shit up.
Thank God for the checks and balances in this country. And folks, everybody listening on Twitter and who's live now on YouTube, go ahead and tell us, like, if you are a Trump supporter, why are you a Trump supporter? You know, what is it about him that makes you gravitate towards what he's saying? You know, what do you think about a 4-year term of Donald Trump in office? All right, let's pivot here towards some stocks, man. Let's talk a little bit about Chipotle. Obviously, the news recently came out about the norovirus, man. What do you think? What do you think about Chipotle here? Is it done? Is it going to be another Jack in the Box where it takes them 10 fucking years to come back? Or what are you thinking here? Me personally, I think it's fine. I think it's fine, and it's going to be back to $700, you know, within a couple of years.
Well, based on my attitude, and I have a very sensitive stomach, and I always love Chipotle, and I would suffer that night after eating one of those monster burritos, and I didn't care.
I remember me and you went to one, and you didn't order shit. You didn't order anything.
I couldn't resist. I wound up getting a burrito that night anyway, against my better judgment, and I love Chipotle, but I have not been back to one since the entire E. coli thing. So just based on my attitude, I wouldn't buy the stock. Plus, I don't really trade those monsters like you do. Right. But it's an avoid, and you know, it's just another symbol that if it goes up another 200 points from here, so be it. I'm loving my energy stocks, these beat down, pulverized.
Oh, no doubt. That's all your will. We'll talk about that in a second. Guys, go ahead and interact on Twitter or YouTube. Let us know what you think Chipotle, the future of Chipotle, and if you've been back since the E. coli breakout. So that's a question for you guys to answer. Have you been back to Chipotle since the breakout? I have. I had a fucking barbacoa bowl, and I ain't ashamed to say it. By the way, the recent breakout that happened yesterday happened in Billerica. This is a place that was very close to where I went to school. I know that city up and down, and it was hilarious that it happened there. By the way, on the same street that the Chipotle is on in Billerica, there's a strip club and a Starbucks like right next to each other.
Nice.
So that is Billerica, Massachusetts, for any of you guys who are imagining what Massachusetts is like in certain locations. All right, so pivoting here, Kenny has a big announcement, and I don't know why you're doing this, man. I don't know why you're putting yourself out there. I don't know why you want to put yourself out there publicly. I really don't know why you want to do this, but fuck it, go ahead and do it.
I think the bull market has never left. I think that we had so many corrections, the August flash crash, then we had the way that we started this year. I think all of these moves are enough that we're shaking out the people that want to sell, and then we're going to move on. And I think we're already on the process of moving on from here. And I'm pretty I got some levels where this market I think is going to break out, and we're going to just go right to Dow 20,000 over the next 18 months. I'm calling for a 20% gain from today, and I'll give you the date, January 20th of 2017. We're going to be at 19,368, which is close enough to 20,000 where I'm going to say it's Dow 20,000. So I'm looking for a 2,300 point move into next year, and I think the whole everyone's going to be sitting there, and as long as they're debating,
well, is this a move we can trust? Is the worst over? I don't know if I feel safe or not.
As long as they're debating. When my uncle, we call it the Rappaport indicator, he bought stocks in '86, the market crashed. I remember him crying about, oh, I just finally got back into the market. And then in 1999, he's calling me, I'm thinking about buying this company, Cisco. I'm like, well, it was 20 bucks and now it's 150. You're thinking maybe you should think this one over. He buys it, the market crashes. He comes back in 2009, 2007 to finally start buying stocks again, and it crashes again. So as long as my uncle never buys stocks again, the king of the sheep, the worst indicator of all time, I think this market will grind higher. We'll go back to that bull market environment where it's just grind, breakout, little sell-off. I think August, all these flash crashes got everybody out of the way. I don't know if oil's going back to 50, but I don't care because you got some of these stocks like US Steel, FCX, KMI, ATI. They're all just going up relentlessly. But the real bottom line, I think you know what I'm going to say, as long as the UVXY is going down like it perpetually does, we're good. We're good.
Dude, I can't believe this just happened, guys. Folks, you heard it here first. Kenny, the Glick, the Jew, the Glick, the Jew, whatever the hell you want to call this motherfucker. He just called for Dow 20,000, similar to James Altucher back in, 2013? Sorry, not James Altucher. Boris from GoldenEye. That's how he got famous, with that Dow 20K call. And here we go. Kenny Glick just threw it out there. So go ahead and comment. Do you believe in Dow 20K by what was the date again? January 2019?
It's actually 19,368. But by January 20th of January 20th, 2017, on options expiration, that's when I'll give you permission to maybe take a little bit off the table if we're actually at Dow 19,300.
Yo, hold on. 19,383. Where the fuck did you come up with that number?
I did some math.
Where did you come up with that number?
I did a couple of extrapolations and some equations and some Black-Scholes formulas in my brain, and I just plotted it out. I get to about 19,368. So I'm a fan of the market right now. But all that being said, if UVXY starts accelerating to the upside,
right,
we start breaking down, as everybody knows, these are just words.
These are just words. That's all they are, folks. That is all they are. These guesses, these predictions here on where stocks are going, these price triggers, upgrades and downgrades, all this kind of stuff. These are just words at the end of the day. Me personally, I think we cover the gap to 204 on SPY, and then we start selling the fuck off again.
Right. And if you're right, I'll be right there, condemning America. I'll put the turban on, death to America. I'll be shorting stocks every day. That's what's the beauty of being a trader right now. Because another reason that I think of this market's bullish is that 9 of the 10 stocks that I've sold over the last couple of weeks are still higher. And it's a sign that we're in a bullish environment.
Yeah, plus they are moving to a lot of different sectors. They're moving to a lot of the sectors that they needed to in order to, create this bid, this underlying bid in the market. And those were a lot of those beat down names, the casinos, some of the retail names like Michael Kors and friggin' Coach and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So all of these names have been just that's where the money is, because again, that's where your appreciation is. You're not going to make Facebook is not going to rip another 100 points unless the market actually does go back to all-time highs. And by the way, there's a lot of bets out there that still say of all-time highs on Facebook, Netflix, and all those things. But again, they've been trading kind of blah recently here. So that's where you've been putting in your money. So some of the beaten down oil names, gas names, energy, and stuff like that. That's what you got your mind on.
Yeah, and I've been trading. If you guys want to take a list, I mean, I still own most of these. I got Potash of Saskatchewan, which came off. And most of these companies now, every stock that I own right now came out of a day trade. Came out of a bottoming pattern.
Right.
I was like, all right, this day trade's working. Again, most traders, investments or swing trades are bad day trades. They're like,
well, I'm not gonna sell it now. Let me hang on to it.
Next thing you know, you're getting 10 Qs and 10 Ks in your house. When I started buying FCX and US Steel with my first two ventures into the space, I never thought I'd be able to buy US Steel under $10. So I sat there, I waited my time. But what happened? They reported earnings. They said, we suck. We're probably going to continue to suck.
Yep.
We don't have any chance of ever not sucking, but the stock went up that day. And I was like, all right, well, if they're going to suck that much, but the stock's going up, I'm in. And that was at 666. Plus, that was a great price also. I bought some at 666, some at 725.
Which one was that? Alcoa? What was that again?
US Steel.
US Steel. Fucking X, man. I can't believe that. Did that thing trade at a $5 handle? Oh, it almost did.
No, I never got to 5. About
14 bucks. Hit 14 bucks. Guys, I mean, this is 2009 again, where you're talking about, companies that you can buy the equity and double your money in a freaking week, So that's what's going on in the beaten down dog space, aka the BTUs of the world. By the way, we caught a lot of call buying 2 years out on BTU, like out to, I believe, like $6-7. So there's still plenty of upside left in a lot of these things. Let's pivot again. Let's talk a little bit about oil. I know you brought it up before. $50 oil. You don't think that's possible, or I think it was like $70 oil. But what do you think happens to oil right now?
Well, we got 20,000 shares of USO in the Glick fund right now. It's
the
biggest position. I'm fighting my my dad and his partners to start lightening up at 1050.
Okay.
They think we're going to at least 1235 area.
Okay.
With maybe a chance to get up to 1360.
So that would be what, 45, almost $50 a barrel on oil?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I think we'll call it another 20% upside on the USO. I don't exactly know what it equates to as far as the oil, and plus USO has a little bit of slippage. They do adjust that stock down a little bit. If you want to know, USL, I just learned, is better than USO.
I haven't even heard of this, guys. USL, this looks like 12-month fund. This looks like 12-month oil fund. Okay, right. So this is another vehicle.
The USO will get adjusted because it trades the front month. The USL does the yearly futures.
And then what about the UCO? What about UCO? Oh, that's just just a rando pro shares ETF.
I don't know I don't know. There's about 10 of them, but right now we bought the USO because that's the most liquid one, right, the most popular one. I'm ready to start taking profits on it, but I'm being voted down right now, and so far they've been right. We also had the UWTI.
Yep.
And obviously the DWTI was 400 and change. Now it's down to 150. So that was
these things are absolutely nuts. I think that was the high, right? The DWTI 400, a little bit over 400, 400 and a quarter, and that thing is now trading at a miserable $150. I mean, that's nuts. There's still a lot of people out there going for a further bottom on oil, but it looks like for now the squeeze is on. I would say that gap to 204 on the SPY is most likely going to be covered. I mean, we'll see what happens with the ECB announcement tomorrow. I'm not even sure what exactly they're even talking about. What do you think about the banks right now? What do you think about the banks? I mean, I feel like for us to go back to these all-time highs,
the worst.
We don't really need the banks, but they don't look that great. They don't look that great to me at all. Goldman is probably the most miserably traded I have seen Goldman in a while. Bank of America too. So what do you think about the financials here?
That's the only thing that gives me pause about Dow 20,000.
No doubt.
Not going to get the Dow 20,000 without Goldman Sachs and Citibank and Bank of America and start to rally. I mean, the rally could start tomorrow, but that's the only thing that gives me a little skepticism on this market going completely to the upside. Right now, we're getting sector rotation. You had those monster gains in those energy stocks were rotated into some of the big cap stocks on the NASDAQ today. We need a rotation into the banks to get that going. And then eventually, I think that'll take the whole market up. So without the financials, we might not get to Dow 19,368, but when that starts happening, I'm going to join in. Bank of America, once it breaks back over, 1385, that 1410 area, it's probably going to be an attractive idea.
Yeah.
But sticking with, how I'm going to say, I stick with what works. I've been playing these reversals. And again, the reason I own 22 stocks up until about 5-6 days ago is that every one of these stocks that I trade, I'm talking about Potash, POT, ATI, KMI, FCX, Mobileye, Joy Global, even that piece of shit Data, Rig, CDRL, Devon
Rig has
Energy.
been unbelievable, guys. Take a look at Rig and the Devon Energy too. Like these two things, Rig especially has been ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, CDRL went from $1 to $7 in like 3 days.
Yep.
So now that we had these monster gains, and you probably should have done 40 times better than I did, because I was buying the stocks themselves and nibbling on them. If I would have had a little bit of foresight, the only trade I bought options on was the Potash, because the options were like, they were paying me to buy them. I was like, I bought $17 calls.
It's like Japanese interest rates right now.
Yeah, there was $17 calls for September. I remember it was like for 50 cents. I was like, they're thinking the stock's never ever has a chance to ever move. Same thing with U.S. Steel. When it broke 885, I was happy the stock. I was in the stock. I was happy it was going up. So as a goof, I was like, you know what? Maybe this thing gets to $10. I bought the $10 calls from March for 40 cents. They went to 80 cents the next day. You know what I did? I sold them. Where'd they go the next day? $5.
$5. Good Lord. Good Lord. And that's options, man. That's options. That's the difficult part. It's like once you get the start of a reversal, your options are going to pay out so much. But the problem is that, you're talking about 9 or 10 times that you have to try to find an entry for those that you're going to get burned on before you catch the reversal correctly. So when you end up in the money on that one time that you need to hold, you're going to want to try to get the fuck out of that as soon as you see some green, because you're poisoned from all these other bets that you've taken that just were pretty much a miss. And by the way, like all the stocks that Kenny just mentioned have been dog shit names for what, 2 years now? Alcoa, United States Steel, Potash, all of these things have been useless, absolutely useless.
Right, and a lot of these names like FCX, I mean, I've heard the name in being mentioned, but when I looked at the chart, I was like, wow, if this thing could get back above 480, it could go back to $6 or $7 pretty easy. And someone said, how about this ATI? I looked at the ATI chart. I didn't even know what the company was. I was like, I'm in. 950. I'm in. Stock's
because right. Well, once you have that trend and once you know what's happening, that's it. You find another dog name, fucking jump in. I love trades like that. I love that no nonsense. It's like it becomes simple. Everything beyond that is starting to get more difficult and more difficult and more difficult every single day. All right, so let's pivot here real quick. Let's go to some funny shit before we wrap everything up. There is a Mrs. Sang Lucci on Twitter. All right, and she has self-proclaimed herself the official Twitter wife of Sang Lucci, bro. And you can find her at Mrs. Sang Lucci. Everybody wants to know who the fuck is this. I don't know who this is. I do not know who this is. I'm going to say it out here right now. And the shit that she's putting on Twitter is fucking hilarious, though, man. It is hilarious. And I kind of had an idea, and I don't know. I got nothing. See if you can go ahead and dig it up and figure out who the hell this woman is.
It's
probably a woman scorned, and God, I hope it doesn't get ugly, Kenny. I hope it doesn't get ugly. It's one of these fatal attractions, Kenny. Have you ever had a fatal attraction?
Yeah, back in high school, It was my fault. I said I wasn't going to fuck her, and I fucked her anyway. So what the hell?
Whoa, we're getting R-rated here on the Jew and the Brown Man. Let's wrap it up here with some comments here going forward on the markets. Obviously, you're throwing out the Dow 20K. I think we're going to start pulling back. But again, I can see where Kenny's coming from. So, we're at this kind of place where nobody really knows. And by the way, usually at points like this, we'll see a lot of people starting to move into the options market and buy, far out of the money puts on the SPY or anything. And I'm not seeing any of it. The only action that I am seeing is bullish. And it's bullish all the shit names that Kenny has been talking about. And it's also SPY bets too. SPY Qs, IWM, and everything. So just at the close, we had a weekly March call buyer, 203.5 puts, put down $500,000. So, you know, they're still trying to crank it out over here.
Yeah, I'm taking the other side of that trade. You know, now that I'm out of the U.S. steel, but I want to buy it back, I don't feel comfortable buying it here. So I'm taking those long-term puts and I'm selling them to these guys. If you want to give me 85 cents for a $5 put in U.S. steel for September, I'll take your action. That's the way I look at it. I don't think the stock's going below 750, so I'll sell 20 contracts, take my $1,600, and, you know, sit here and hope it doesn't go, you know, bankrupt, basically, because that's the only thing that's bringing U.S. steel back under 750. So I don't even think the stock's going under 750. So why wouldn't I sell some $5 puts? So that's what I've been doing now. Everything I've sold out of the equities, I started putting some, you know, put selling. You know, obviously I'm betting that the market doesn't go down.
Yep.
So, you know, like the FCX, I sold some
just making a floor right there and just soaking up that premium right there.
Right. I don't think any, you know, there's going to be one or two, you know, whether it be WMB or the, you know, Devon Energy, you know, one of these is probably going to have something to say 3 months from now that's not good. Maybe it'd be Rig or could be Alcoa, US Steel. One of them is going to take a beat down, and, you know, I'm going to probably get hit on one of these. But right now, the getting is good. You know, the dip buying is working. The Devon Energy is out there. Been treating me pretty well. And another thing, the reason I'm really bullish is that 9 out of 10 stocks that got beat down on earnings has come back. Maybe you guys watch New Skin, NUS. Stock had terrible numbers. Stock's up 10 points. Mobileye gets downgraded, bad numbers. Citron Research, Muddy Waters. Stock goes up 10 points in their face. What's up? This is that's bullish environment.
Okay, so let's bring that out here. Let's bring that out here, guys. If you have any questions or any stocks that you want us to go ahead and talk about, you know, go ahead and interact on Twitter or YouTube. We got a couple questions out here that I'll get to in a second, but let's bring that out. What about LinkedIn? I mean, that's a good example of a stock that got beaten to shit off the earnings and is still kind of down there. What do you say about the LinkedIn?
It had a 20-point bounce, which is pretty awesome.
It did have a 20-point bounce. It's still not into the gap. I would say, again, dips are still being bought. This still looks kind of interesting to get back into the gap, at least 125 or 130. But what do you think about you know, the LinkedIn and the Twitter in general? I mean, do you think there's any life here for Twitter? There's a couple questions on this one. There's a lot of people stuck in $20 calls, $21 calls, $25 calls. You know, people are just getting their asses kicked here on Twitter trying to buy the dip. What do you think about Twitter, man?
Well, Twitter was my favorite trade when they came out earnings. Exactly the same exact setup, just as US Steel and all these companies. Twitter basically come out and we lost subscribers. We don't know how to make money. We don't know what we're doing. The stock went down to about $12.85. Next thing you know, it's reversing, breaks back over the VWAP. Boom, I'm in at $13.50. I posted it up there on StockTwits and Twitter because I took that quick half point, you know, it went from $13.50 to $14. I was like, I probably saved the fucking company now. And next thing you know, I held 200 shares, and of course the thing went up to what, 18 and change.
Yep.
I think you can buy Twitter on dips just because they own Periscope. I think Periscope is a fantastic product. They're gonna figure out how to make money, and Twitter it's so ingrained in society that somebody's going to take this over. Yeah. Not at $50, not at $40, probably 27, 28. Yep. Give me a value of Twitter, Google, Apple. Somebody comes and takes this company up. This is a news aggregation service that everybody in the world uses. I can't see them failing, but they really don't know how to make money. Right. And that's holding the stock back. I think you get this thing back to that 15, I'm probably going to buy it again. And, you know, not looking to sell it until, you know, either it gets back into the 20s or possibly gets taken over. I'm a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan of Twitter, and I like the Periscope. If you guys don't know about Periscope, check it out.
Are you on Periscope? Do you broadcast daily on
I know. We were doing a couple, and it's amazing. We had 30, 40 people show up out of nowhere. You know, the funny thing is, the more outlandish your show is on Periscope, you know, there's a woman, this large African-American woman talking about hair extensions, and she's got like 600 people watching her. I'm like, what?
Well, again, there's a market for everything, man. I mean, come on. You go on YouTube, and there's just hair and makeup, like that shit.
Oh my gosh, she kills it. Yeah.
That shit is popping, man. I catch my daughter now watching some of that. I'm like, turn that shit off, right? Turn that shit off. All right, let's pivot here to Tesla. We got a question here on Tesla about the the future growth here on the Tesla. Obviously, there was a Citron piece that came out at around 190. Stock like opened up the next day at like 184, and then tanked a little bit, and now it's all the way back to 210. Honestly, I've seen this thing trade a lot, and it's extremely strong every single day. So what are your thoughts here on Tesla?
Let's not get crazy, but Tesla's going to be $1,000 stock.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Dow 20K and Tesla $1,000 from your boy Kenny Glick.
Is going to be $400. They're going to do a 4-for-1 split, and then the stock's going to go back to 250 from when they do the 4-for-1 split, because everyone's going to love it back at 100. The stock will be $1,000. I will say 12 years from now, if you have that patience. I think it's $1,000 stock, split adjusted. Things going to 400, 4-for-1 split, back to 100, back to 250, split adjusted, $1,000.
All right.
So car company.
So here's my question. My question. When do you say, okay, fuck trading, or fuck intraday trading, and fuck day trading, and I'm just gonna buy Tesla, and I'm gonna go enjoy my life for the next 3 or 4 years, right? How many times has that situation come up? Obviously, in hindsight, there's been plenty. So when are you actually gonna say, all right, my balls are on the table right now. I'm gonna take these balls, put them on the table, and buy the Dow, go for the 20K shot, and buy the Tesla, go for the 1,000. Go for
I'm more with the QQQ. I have the January 20th. I have the January 2017 115 calls for $3.50. I think I'm going to be selling those at $20 by that time. So there's my long-term play. I think the QQQ, if it could finally just break over the 106.30 area on the Qs, we're going right to the gap from where that Google number came out, which is about 106.
106, yeah, 106.
106.30, and then we get to 108.10, and we break 108.10. We'll be at 115, and next thing you go, all-time highs, oh, what's going on? And then Amazon comes out earnings and Apple, and then it has a new product and the iPhone 7. Next thing you know, the Qs are at 130, and selling those 115s for like 15, 20 bucks.
All right.
I'm crazy bullish right now because most people are sitting there.
Wait, this is just a bull. It's a bear market rally.
When isn't it not? This is a bear market rally from 2009. The government came in and said, we're never raising interest rates. You have to buy stocks. Here,
it's true.
Go ahead. This is all a bear market rally.
It's true. Well, and when you put it that way, I mean, of course. But there has been no significant pullback thus far in the markets that hasn't been retraced. And we're looking at another one right now that most people are caught trying to bet, where the knife is going to drop again. And, so far, we've held up the gains really, really well. Okay. And I think if we are going to sell off at all, we need to trap a lot more longs here to the situation. So I think we cover the gap back to 204. I am a bear. I want to short everything to fucking high hell. I want to short Tesla to go down to 120. I want to short LinkedIn to go to nothing. I want to short Priceline to go through $1,000. Like, I hate these things. I hate everything about them. And I want to
short those two. You could short Priceline. Hate that stock. You could short. What was the other one? You want to short?
The LinkedIn? LinkedIn? Yeah.
Zero.
There you go. There you go. And stop spamming everybody, LinkedIn. All right? You want to start making money? Stop fucking spamming anybody. Stop spamming the whole world with your shitty emails, and stop trying to make it so difficult for me to just.
I'm not joining your freaking network. I don't give a shit. I don't even use Facebook anymore. I'm going to go on LinkedIn.
Oh, you could talk to CEOs.
Kenya. Who cares?
All right, last thing here we got to talk about is the Fitbit, man. We have to bring in the Fitbit because both you and I were huge proponents of a big short in Fitbit. We all, this was one of the calls that both of us, we got right. Do you feel there's any future here for Fitbit? Can this thing move back? I actually was at a poker game the other day. Okay, 10 dudes. And 80, I think it was 6 or 7 of them had the black Fitbit on. So you know me, I mean, I gotta talk my shit. So I'm like, dude, why do you have that? And they had an Apple Watch on the other hand, right? So I'm like, you guys are teched out. So you have this watch and you have a phone and you have this fucking Fitbit. You guys are herbs. And they were like, the Fitbit is so much more accurate in counting the steps, and when you pump your fists, it goes ahead and counts something and accurately tells us how many count. I'm like, what? No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, what do you think about Fitbit, man?
The only thing that's keeping Fitbit alive right now is the takeover rumors. And the risk reward to shorting the stock right now is over.
It's nothing, right? It's nothing.
And even if anybody thinks that Nike's going to come along and buy Fitbit, why would they pay 13 and change or a premium here when the stock's going to be $4 in another 8 months? They'll be able to pick it. You want to buy it? They'll be able to pick it off the pink sheets. They'll be able to buy that stock for. Yep. I don't see it. Again, these one-hit wonder stocks like your GoPros and your Fitbits, once they're done, usually they're done. Yep. You know, I'd rather own GoPro than Fitbit for sure.
No doubt.
But I would not be short in Fitbit anymore. You know, it breaks under the 1250, you probably go to $10. But just like the moron who you know, that analyst that said he puts a sell recommendation on GoPro at 10 with $10 target.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What's the point? You know? And again, analysts are obviously, if you know my attitude towards analysts, they're paid off to make recommendations like they did in FEYE.
Absolutely. You wonder why FEYE sold off all day? Because what happened? It got upgraded.
Next thing you know, it's 2 cents away from going negative, from gapping up $1.70, because somebody had 2.5 million shares of FEYE that they wanted to dump on the market. So he makes a phone call to UBS. Yeah, look, if I give you $250,000, can you put an upgrade on Fitbit tomorrow so I can get out of my 2.5 million shares without destroying the market? Okay, cool. I'll get you that suitcase in about a couple hours. That's how it's done.
I wish we had proof, though, man. I wish we had proof. I wish one day that the SEC will just make public, you know, some of these things that happen, or at least they find situations like this so we can be vindicated and we can know for sure, like, yes, this shit happens. Now, granted, we've seen enough of Wall Street. We've seen enough of what actually happens to know that this is what fucking happens. By the way, have you been watching Showtime Billions? Have you been watching Billions at all?
Of course I have. There's even there was an episode where I think they may have watched a couple of my videos and wrote the script.
Yo, Kenny Glick is the motherfucking center of everything right now. Showtime Billions is stealing the fucking news stories on YouTube, and the guy's got 1,000 subscribers. You ain't shit.
I've been talking about this. I've been talking about how the Matrix. I trade the Matrix, and I see the Matrix. It was a character. He was down to trade, and Axe was yelling at him. He's like, "I'm not really seeing the Matrix right now. That's what we pay you for." Then the next scene, Paul Giamatti's walking in the park, and that dude throws a donut at him because he's all pissed off. That he's out. The guy's name was Mr. Krull.
Oh shit!
That's my name that I was using for 7 years on my stupid videos because I didn't want to let everybody know my real name.
Yo, but come on, what about that TV show Anton Krull or some shit, right? Isn't Krull a popular TV name? You know how they always gravitate to the popular TV names.
Well, it was actually a really awful British movie with Liam Neeson in it. It was a great but awful science fiction movie called Krull. I loved it. That's where I got the name from. And you know, when I saw that, I was like, damn, what the hell? And then he's talking about the Matrix. I love that show. I mean, I love it a lot. I love Paul Giamatti and everything. The dude is the greatest actor of our generation, I think. The guy is awesome.
I think Chris Rock shouted him out. Chris Rock shouted him out on the, you know, the first, his opening monologue. He said Paul Giamatti is his favorite actor, and he thinks he's, you know, super underrated or whatever it is. Yeah. I would agree with that, man. I love him, man. I love him. And you can't believe he has this badass wife and he's into all this shit. I feel like the shows that are coming out now, they are really hitting, you know, some real social issues that are happening today, and they're really just cutting deep into the reality of a lot of people's situations. Did you watch House of Cards?
No, I'll get around to that one sooner or later.
So in these episodes, like, they literally call out Trump for his some of the stupid shit that he says. You know, there's jabs at him all day in House of Cards. So they'll hit on, you know, real mainstream issues, and they'll do it subtly. But it's dope, man. TV's getting good, man.
What am I can't even remember right now, but Shameless is still the best show. I love Shameless, and what's the other show that I watch? Well, Walking Dead, obviously, but yeah, I'm loving Billions. Yeah, that's a great show.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, everybody, we're going to pack it in. We're going to try to do this on a weekly basis. Like, you know, both Kenny and I have talked about, you know, getting some better production on some of the things that we're doing, but we have a lot of our own things kind of going on right now. We will get to that point. We will get to that point where all of a sudden I'm talking about something and you'll see it, you know, nicely on the screen, you know, with all these little call outs and interactions here. You know, so hopefully we'll get that up and running. So stay tuned, stick with us, and let us know in the future what you guys want us to rant about, anything at all. Him and I get along pretty well. Dude, I'm gonna be in New York actually on Monday, man. You gonna be around?
I'll try to come in. Maybe I'll come in on Tuesday. How long are you gonna be here for?
I'll probably be here for a week. Probably be there for a week.
All right, yeah, I'll make it my business. Hey, also I got you know, considering I do a lot of stuff, you know, with people around, and you know, I finally got a hedge fund to fund me, so it's pretty cool.
Attaboy.
So it came off the FCX trade. You know, I begged these guys. I was buy some FCX, buy some USO, US Steel, but most important, what they've been impressed about is this SVXY. They didn't even know about SVXY.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, this is a stock that's guaranteed to go up. There's not many guarantees in life, but every time the market gets a little volatile, it goes down. Sure.
Yep.
You give it 2 or 3 weeks, it starts to gravitate back up. And all we've been doing is you buy the SVXY, we sell an in the money call for the week.
Yep.
Either you're collecting the money on the call that you sold, or you're getting called out every week, even when the market was shitty. This stock perpetually goes up because obviously it's the opposite of the worst product on earth.
Right. So it's just a cover call strategy on a inverse inverse volatility index.
And it's been working like a charm. You know, even you know, as soon as the market stabilized, you know, February 4th we started doing it, and every week they're making money on it. I don't have enough money, you know, to do it myself. You know, buying 5,000 shares and whatever. But now that I'm working for these guys, so I'm gonna start keeping a lot of positions. And you know, a lot of good stuff. I made some new friends over at the Premier, what are they called? Pro Trader Elite. What's up, guys? Okay. They're trying to do, you know, a chat room, and, you know, they needed some lively figurehead to run their shit. So
no doubt. Sounds good. All right. So we'll talk about all that stuff, all that stuff next week, guys. Interact on Twitter. Let us know, comments on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you later. We'll hopefully see you next week. Kenny, I'll hit you up probably over the weekend, man.
All right, man. Dow 20,000.
Crazy asshole, man. Later, y'all. Later.
See ya.